I don't know about you, but I'm so excited for the Nun 2, especially since I have this shirt given by my partner. Hello everyone, Thiago here. That might have been irrelevant, but who cares? Welcome back to another video. As you read by the title, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through everything that I watched over the month of August, and that includes series and movies. And today I want to do something different on these Letterboxd recap videos, and it's that I used to talk about all of the films from half star to 5 stars, but today I want to do something different, and it's that I'm going to separate horror to non-horror, and because I don't want this video to be so long or so dragging, and the non-horror movies I'm just gonna talk about from worst to best. And in the horror and thriller movies, I will separate them into the stars categories like I used to do before. And also at the end of this video, I will say the worst and the best movies and series that I watched over the month of August. When it comes to series, I didn't finish many series. I started a few of them, but obviously I will talk about them once I finish them. The only series that I watched and that I finished is Slasher Season 3 from 2019. Now that I have finished all of the seasons, the 4 of them, I will do my ranking, because obviously those series are like Halloween vibes or autumn vibes, so it's the perfect chance to rank them. Now when it comes to, like I said before, we're gonna talk about the non-horror section, so we're gonna go from worst movie to the best non-horror movie. Let's start with the worst non-horror films that I watched, and the first one will be Groundhog Day from 1993. Now this film was horrible. Like, I don't know why, briefly talking, I don't know why this movie was normalizing a predator. Like, this guy was literally a predator against women, and I think that's an unpopular opinion because this movie is very well loved. The next worst film will be Scary Movie 4, and I know this movie is very well loved for many fans. I'm not a big fan of this franchise at all. I think the jokes on this franchise are over the top in a very annoying way. Scary Movie 4 was just way too forced, like the comedy was very annoying. I also watched How It Ends and 3022, and those are quite similar because they are like end of the world science fiction kind of movies, and How It Ends is a Netflix original, so you know where is it going. It stars one of my favorite actors, which is Theo James, so I was really excited to watch this film, but unfortunately it flopped, and the main reason is because nothing happens. Like, How It Ends is the title, but the movie doesn't really know how it ends. Most of the film is shot inside a car, and it's like, even though I love one location films, for this concept it didn't make sense to be all the time inside a car. And 3022 is another one location film about the world ending, and I'm just gonna be honest right here, and I'm gonna say that the main reason why I watched this film is because Miranda Cosgrove was in this film, but she's really said, let me be here for 2 minutes. I was so annoyed because she was the main reason why I wanted to watch this film. Another disaster film that I watched is Into the Storm from 2014. Now, I will be honest, the main reason why I watched this movie is because Freddy from iCarly was in this, and also because it's end of the world, like disaster movies, fun footage. I like this film. I think it was very cheesy, like way too cheesy for science fiction, but I had a good time. And that film will be 9 from 2009, and it's an animated film. Now, this film was very cute, and I think it was quite dark. Like, if I had watched this film when I was a kid, I would have been traumatized, because some shots I'm sure they would have scared me as a kid. I really like the concept because we follow a very unusual lead, and the storyline was also very clever. Like, I didn't expect the plot where it was going. Also the storyline, I didn't see anything coming, and the movie was really surprising me as it was going through. And overall, I would really recommend this film, especially because it takes place in an after-apocalyptic world. The next film will be a new film, and that is Not Okay. Now, I didn't have expectations from this film because I was like, it's comedy, it went directly into streaming. Like, I can see that this is gonna be about influencers, and also I was like, okay, whatever. I watched this and it really surprised me. Like, the main reason is because the message behind this film, even though the characters are very annoying, very cliche, especially our lead, But the message behind this film is very important, and I think that's the main reason why this film is worth a watch. The last three non-horror films, the first one will be Cruella. I don't need to talk about this film because it's very well popular. This was my third watch. I absolutely love this film, especially because of the acting, the storyline, the score, the wardrobe, the set design. This movie is gorgeous. It's a 4-star film for me. And Freaky Friday, obviously one of my favorite comedies of all time. Like, I grew up watching this film. I just started to play it because I was like kind of having a bad day, so I wanted something to cheer me up. And Freaky Friday always makes me laugh, and I think Lindsay Lohan is very underrated when it comes to acting, especially in comedy. And the last non-horror film that I watched, that will be Bullet Train from 2022. I absolutely love this film, and first thing that I want to say is that I really like that this was a one location film, and like the whole film happened inside the train, inside the bullet train. The characters are so charismatic, like the characters are so friendly with the audience, if that makes sense. Also, the storyline is so smooth. It made me laugh a lot, and that's really rare when it comes to comedies, because this movie is a comedy, but it's also a thriller and like action film because it has so much gore, so many fight scenes, and obviously the CGI at the end is not the best, but I completely forget about that because the main reason why I would rewatch this film is because of the storyline and characters, because those two were combined perfectly. Now, when it comes to horror films, the first category is half star and 1 star. Now, the only 1-star film that I watched is Straight Edge Kegger from 2019. Now, this film, what can I say? I was just so bored throughout the whole time. The characters were like very plain. They were very, like, the acting was horrible. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand why this movie was trying to do, because obviously it tried to be home invasion, it tried to be a slasher. Maybe because I'm not a metal fan, maybe that's why I didn't like this film too much, because I didn't know this, like, the soundtrack or like the bands that they were mentioning and stuff. So maybe that's why. But apart from that, I think if this concept was part of the Purge franchise, I think I would have enjoyed this more. Now, when it comes to 2.5 stars, I watched 2 films, and the first one is very popular in the horror community, and I was expecting to love this film because many people were like, this is your cup of tea, it's late night, it's a slashers, and I was so excited, and that will be Urban Legend. Now, you might be surprised that I didn't like this film, but honestly, I didn't. I gave 2.5 stars because some kills were great, and the whole storyline was unique. Like, let's be honest here, I really enjoyed the storyline, but the main reason why this movie is 2.5 stars is because the reveal. I didn't see it coming, but when it was revealed, I was like, really? I was like, okay, I guess. I was not like so shocked, let's say. And the other 2 stars will be Accident from 2017. I don't think anyone has watched this film. This has like 90 reviews on Letterboxd. You will see this film in an upcoming video. Another film will be The Final Destination from 2009. Again, I talked about this film on my previous video. But overall, I just want to say that this movie is so much fun. It's one of the most entertaining films in a cheesy way when it comes to horror. I absolutely love this film. I know it's horrible, I know it's bad, but I absolutely loved it. The next 2 films that I'm going to talk about are 3-star films, and one of them might be controversial, so stay with me. So the first film will be American Carnage from 2022. This is a new film, and it stars one of the most popular actors from this era, which is Jenna Ortega. Now, I have to say that I went blind into this film. I just know one of my friends, Kylie Haunted Hippie, she loved this film, so I was really happy about it. I was expecting something bad, let me be honest right here, because it was portrayed as a comedy horror, and as you know me, you know that I hate comedy and horror combined. So I was just didn't expecting too much. I would really like that this movie was including many Latin characters. I have to say that I really enjoyed this. I really like the commentary behind this film, because obviously it's about racism against Latin people, against the Hispanic culture or like citizens and stuff in America, and that's really scary because obviously we know that racism is something real. So it honestly triggered me a little bit because I have experienced some stuff that the characters go through, but apart from that, I really liked that this concept was really dark. Like I wish this movie was not too comedic, because the concept was very dark. Like the plot, the reveal is something that you don't expect at all, and I think this would have worked so much better, and this could have easily been a 4 stars, even 5 stars film for me if it didn't have too much comedy. Now the next film that I think is controversial, because I gave 3 stars and so many people are giving 4, 5, some people are calling it the best horror from like the 2020s until now. Some people are calling this film one of the best horror movies of all time. Some people are calling this like one of the most unique films in film history, which, like, fair enough, everyone has their own opinions, but for me this movie was okay. Like, it was not something that I was so shocked, and you know, so that film will be Nope from Jordan Peele. And the first thing that I want to say, and a message that I want to give to the horror community, is that it's okay, it's allowed, let me just say, it's allowed to dislike films from your favorite creators. Like, you don't need to love something just because it comes from your favorite creator. I love Jordan Peele. As you know me, Us and Get Out are one of my favorite horror films of all time. So I was having so many expectations from Nope, but obviously I'm not gonna go throughout my whole review because this will take me 4 hours, but I would really recommend checking out Haunted CP review from. Just overall talking about this, I think this movie was kind of messy because it wanted to give so much storylines at the same time, like trying to mix them, and the movie was getting lost, on my opinion. Obviously it has positive aspects, one of them being the cinematography, obviously the score, and the characters, especially Kiki Palmer's. I think she is one of the characters that saved this film. But apart from that, this movie kind of like flopped for me. Now I have a few 3 stars and a half, and the first one will be Turistas from 2006. This is a summer vacation movie. I don't want to talk too much about it, but overall it's a great summer vacation movie. I included this on my best horror vacation summer movies video, so it's quite entertaining. It has a few popular faces, it's a bit disturbing. I think it's very worth the watch. Another film will be FLIGHTPLAN from 2005. Now this thriller was beautiful. I think the landscape is one of the most gorgeous landscapes I've seen, and you will see this movie in a top that I'm gonna do in the future, so that's why I'm not gonna talk too much about it. The next 2 films, and the first one will be Orphan First Kill. Now I'm not gonna talk about this film because I did a whole review comparing it to the first Orphan for my series Let's Talk About Horror Movie Duos. So if you want to check that video, I will leave the link up here. And the next movie that is 3 stars and a half will be another one location film, and you see where this is coming, so you kind of know what my next video is gonna be, and that will be 127 Hours from 2011. When it comes to 4 stars, I watched Final Destination 1 and 2. I'm not gonna talk about them because I did a whole video about my predictions for Final Destination 6. Those predictions are very juicy. I think maybe some of them will happen, so in order to prepare for that video I wanted to rewatch this. But let me just say that Final Destination 2 is aging like a good wine, because this movie is the perfect film for a Sunday. Another 4 stars film will be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Again, I'm not gonna talk about it because I did a whole comparison to the prequel from 2006. But now the next movie that I watched that is a 4 stars film was a first time watch, and it's one of the most popular films out there, but this was my first time, and that would be Martyrs from 2008, the French film. Now I understand why this movie is controversial. Like, I was expecting very disturbing stuff, like there is a reason why I hadn't checked this film. But I decided to give it a watch, and I have to say that I was a big fan. Like, 4 stars for this film is very high. The main reason why I gave 4 stars is because of the storyline. I think the storyline is super creepy, super disturbing. This film is one of the most disturbing films I have ever seen, and I might do a video about that, like the most disturbing films. And until this date, I'm still thinking about that film, and I love when cinema does that. Like, that film obviously was very graphic. Obviously the characters were so strong, especially our leads. Like, it makes sense why things are happening, if you get what I mean, if you watch this film. Also, the storyline, the plot, the reveal was so disturbing, so uncomfortable. The ending was horrible. Maybe this is just a one watch because I don't see myself rewatching this, especially because of the torture scenes, which I don't mind sometimes because obviously I like Hostel, so. But there is just, I'm not a big fan when torture means beating up someone for no reason. Think maybe that's why this will only be a one-time watch. Now we have 3 films for 4 stars and a half, and the first one will be Texas Chainsaw The Beginning. Like I said before, I did a whole comparison video to the remake, and the other film will be Final Destination 3. I don't need to talk about this film, you know me, this is my second favorite horror movie of all time after Friday the 13th the remake. I did a whole Final Destination 6 predictions video, and the next 4 stars and a half is a new film, and I'm so excited to talk about this film, and that will be Prey from 2022. The first thing that I want to say is that I'm so sad that this movie went directly into Disney Plus and Hulu, and the main reason is because I would have loved to experience this film at the cinemas. I have to say that I'm not a big fan of the Predator franchise. To be honest, I haven't seen any of the films. Big fan, like please give me more of these. I want to know more about this creature on this world, if that makes sense, because this takes place ages before the first movie. I love the lead. I think it's one of the best leads in horror, at least for the last 5 years. Also, one of the best movies from this year. I think the cinematography was amazing. I love the whole contrast between the Predator and the humans, because obviously they are from different times. Also, I like that it's very gory. I didn't expect this movie to be so gory and have so much blood, but I'm really glad that it did. I have rewatched this film 3 times. Now, for the first time on my Letterboxd recap videos, we have 3 movies with 5 stars. This has never happened before, and so happy, and I'm so lucky to say that 2 of those were a first time watch at the cinemas. Obviously, I didn't have the chance to watch these movies at the cinemas, so when Odeon, which is like a cinema franchise here in the UK, announced that Us and Get Out were gonna be screened at the cinemas, I was so excited because I was like, this is the best opportunity because I didn't have the chance before. Perfect films. Both Us and Get Out are amazing on their own ways. Perfect films, 5 out of 5. They combine many stuff that I like in horror, like slashers, home invasion, psychological. So big fan out of this. And the last film that I watched that is 5 stars, that will be Orphan from 2009. I know that it might be controversial to give this film 5 stars, but I don't care. If you want to hear my thoughts about this film and why I gave 5 stars, like I said before, I did a whole comparison between Orphan and Orphan First Kill movies. When it comes to the worst non-horror film that I watched, that will be The Groundhog Day from 1993. And the best non-horror film that I watched is Bullet Train. I had so much fun with this film and I cannot wait to own it, to rewatch it, and it's such a good time. Now when it comes to the worst horror film that I watched, and this might be controversial and I'm sorry if you like the film, but that will be Urban Legend. I know, I was expecting to love this film, but obviously I didn't. The best horror film that I watched, I have to give it to Martyrs. Obviously until this date, after like a month, I still think about Martyrs, and I think that's something not every film makes you feel. So there you have it. Those were the stuff that I watched over August. If you like this video, don't forget to support this channel. That really helps me a lot. And stay tuned for the upcoming fall content, the spooky season content. Have a nice and active week, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.